Good afternoon, friends. So yes, last night when I was figuring out my meal plan and what I wanted to fix today, I was hoping my little store would have their ham loaf mix, and they did. I had an alternative in mind if they did not have it, what I was going to use, but they had it, and I was like, happy day. So what ham loaf mix is, it's just the ham and the pork ground together, so I don't have to do it. So I guess as you can figure it out, we're going to make a ham loaf, and we're just going to make a basic country good eating ham loaf. So what we're going to start off with is a couple eggs. Now with this, I'm having the slow cooker scallop potatoes, so you'll probably see that recipe first. And then we're having the ham loaf, and we are having green beans. So let me wash my hands with this egg. So that is the menu for tonight. Because like I said in my other video, I have been under the weather, and I literally cannot take another, my husband bringing me home a fast food meal. And you say, well, why doesn't he cook? Well, he could because I didn't have any food in the house. Because we ran so much for Christmas, and I cooked so much for Christmas. I mean, I had stuff in the house. I mean, like, I could have made sausage gravy biscuits, or, you know, I could have whipped up a hillbilly meal. But, you know, Brock's not so on the fly with the hillbilly meal. I mean, there was things that could have kept. There wasn't husband-friendly meals, or at least my husband-friendly meals at the house. So he was nice enough to go get stuff, but I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. Okay, so we've got 2 beaten eggs here. This is a simple recipe, and it's just like meatloaf. Everybody who makes ham loaf probably have their own recipe. This is just a simple one. We're gonna do some onion. Chopped onion. As always, you can leave onion out. Half an onion diced up there. I'm mixing this up in the bowl so it's easier when we get in with the ham loaf. We're going to do a half a cup of ketchup. Trust me. That in there. Now, of course, we're not going to add any salt because you have the saltiness from the crackers. You have the saltiness from that ham. We're not going to do that. And my advice is let everybody salt their own piece if they want a little bit more salt added to their ham loaf. Mustard, which I got to reach it over here. We're going to do a couple of tablespoons. I'm not going to dirty up a spoon. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Okay. We're going to add some pepper. We're not going to add, like I said, we're not going to add any salt. Not a lot of seasoning to this. And of course, paprika, my best friend. I had to pick up another one because I was out. All right, so we're going to mix this up. Now we are going to make a glaze to go over top. We're going to put this in the oven first, and then later on, when it's, we're going to let it bake for about a half hour, and then we're going to come in with a glaze. So we'll do that part later. So there's that mixture. We're going to come in with 1.5 cups of crackers, any kind of crackers. Some people like graham crackers, some people like saltines. To me, graham crackers is a little too sweet. So I just had these cluck crackers left over from Christmas. So about a sleeve of crackers, 1.5 cups. Okay, it's just, I find it easier to mix all of this up before we put in the ham loaf mix. Now, if your store doesn't have a ham loaf mix, I bet you could ask your butcher, if you have a little butcher shop, to grind you up some ham and grind you up some pork, or bring it home and do it yourself. So what kind of pork? You can buy ground pork, or even get like a pork shoulder steak and grind that up and do it too. Good. All right, so we're going to do 1.5 cups of milk. Equal parts cracker, equal parts milk. Go. Pour that all in. Get that mixed. That's it. That's all we're gonna do. I have a fried brain, so I don't know if I added pepper, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. It won't hurt. It won't kill anybody. Listen, y'all. Oh, I'm in a mess. All right. Now comes the ground, the ham loaf mix, which is ground pork and ground ham. You can't get any better combination than that. So when I knew I definitely was going to make the scalloped potatoes, and I was like, what goes good with scalloped potatoes? Ham, but I didn't really want to bake a ham. And then I was like, meatloaf, but we've already had, the last time Dr. Steve was here, I did meatloaf patties. It's like, I want to change it. It's like, ooh, ham loaf. So I was happy that my little store had this. Look at that. Look at that gorgeousness there. The only way to do it is plop it in. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. I grew up on a farm till I was 7. And I, butchered. My dad would buy hogs and we butcher. We did on farm. And I say we, they. But I helped butcher as I got older. And my husband laughs at me because I'll say meat is beautiful. I just really think it is. I just think a nice, beautiful cut of meat. I'll say, look at that beautiful piece of meat. And we're going to mix this all up. I appreciate the animal. I appreciate the harvest. And it already smells and looks fabulous. You could do this with a spoon, but some things require God's tools, and you just got to get in there and get it done. Now, I might have this too wet. I may have to do some more crackers because I should have looked to see how much my ham loaf mix was before I went a little crazy with the milk. So let me see here. So it's just under 3 pounds. So yeah, I'm basing this off of 3 pounds. I guess I should have read that a little closer. So I'm going to add a little bit more crackers. I have some crackers in here. First, I'm going to wash my hands. Give me a moment here. Okay, got that washed off my hands. I'm going to add the rest of this sleeve of crackers just to make it a little drier. And then we should be good to go. All right, so I've got my 9x13 baking dish. I prefer, as you know, to cook everything in this versus a loaf pan. Look at that. We almost got that loaf formed already. That was a trick right there. That was perfection. I'm going to flatten it down a little bit more. Just because it'll help with the speed of baking. There's a big piece of cracker. That's all right. All right. I like to flatten it down because, as you know, it'll shrink in the cooking process. Look at that beauty. Oh, it smells so good, friends. So this is going to go in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to pull it out and we're going to do that glaze. So I will come back. I'm not going to do that glaze until it's time to put it on there. So there we have it, our ham loaf. I call it a loaf. This is how I'm going to do it. All right. Well, maybe I will. Nah, I'm gonna leave it like that. It'll be fine. We'll bake it and cut it. We'll cut it in half and then slice it. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right, I'm gonna clean up, and we'll come back when it's time to do the glaze. We'll do all that, and we'll do that together. All right, friends, our ham loaf's been in the oven for 30 minutes. Now it's time to make the glaze. So we're going to do a 8-ounce. They didn't have an 8-ounce can of pineapples, so I had to get the 16-ounce, 15 and something. I took half out because I'm going to use the other half for a recipe later on in the week. So we're just going to add that. This is pineapple, crushed pineapple in its own juice. It is a 1.5 cups of brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of vinegar and a teaspoon of mustard, which I forgot, so let me grab that from my fridge. I know I was forgetting something. Teaspoon of mustard. Go. We're going to put this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a low boil and let it simmer a little bit till that brown sugar is, you know, cooked down and crystals are cooked out. Y'all know what I mean. I'm struggling, y'all. Give that sugar a little bit time to melt. How about that? That'll work. Okay, so we're gonna put it here on the stovetop. I'm gonna turn it on. Give it time to incorporate. Give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll come back and we're gonna glaze that ham loaf. I'm getting excited. It smells wonderful. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna eat, but I'm going to definitely try, and the boys will be happy to have a hot meal today. I guarantee that. So we're having green beans with our dinner tonight, and we're having my canned green beans. I've already got 1 small can in there. And yeah, you know, it's my first year canning, and I was struggling with taking the lids off. I was trying to take them off with a hand, a spoon. I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I'm like, you are so... Sometimes I'm just dumb. I don't know what else to call myself, dumb. Why I don't think about stuff. So I was digging for something the other day in my spare utensil area, and I came across this, and it's a can opener and bottle opener, and I was like, remember that's where this is, Krista, because you're going to need this later. I mean, come on. I know you're all laughing at me. It's all right. I'm a dummy. I'll admit to it. Where have you been? Where have you been? Where's my brain been? Anyway, problem solved. Easy jar opener. So I've pulled the ham loaf out of the oven because I want to give it a test to see where we're at, because nothing's worse than overcooked pork, in my opinion. So we're going to give it a try here. You want to go to the fattest part of your meat. Put it in there. Want about 160. For pork, I think is good. And it looks like we are there. I want to make sure I didn't touch the pan, so I'm going to let it go back down and do it again. Always do a second check. Just going to put it in here. Make sure I'm not touching the actual pan. My glass dish. Forgot to turn the meat to TV. Alright, so it looks like we're about 140. So I'm going to put it back in. We're super close. It's better to check it than get it too dry. Don't want that. No, no. So we'll put it back in the oven, and I'm probably going to give it another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll check it again. Alright. Alright, friends, the ham loaf's been in the oven for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're going to go back in, and we're going to check the time here. Check the temp. So you want to go in the fattest part, but you don't want your thermometer to hit the bottom of the pan. because you don't want that false reading there. We're looking for 160. Ding, 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 ding. We're still going. And we are there. Yes, indeedy. All right. We are more than done. I like 160 for pork. I'm going to set this over there so I can wash. It's nice to have a thermometer if you don't have one. They're super cheap to pick up. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to tackle this because it's in that beautiful glaze and it's juicy. So I'm just going to take me a baking dish here and I'm going to grab a couple things. So I'm going to get my plastic knife here because it is ham loaf. See, it's going to cut really simple and I'm just going to cut it in fours. And I think that's going to be the easiest way to take it out of the baking dish. I may be wrong. Been wrong before. Don't tell my husband. He thinks I'm always right. All right. I'm going to grab a hold of this with this towel. Friends, I'm telling you something. I want you to see this beauty. This looks amazing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this glaze in this pan. I'm going to put a spoon in, and if anybody wants to add extra glaze to their slices, look at that. I'm glad I made it extras because once I feel better, I know I'm going to want to eat some of this. So I'm just going to put this right onto the baking dish. It's holding together. I didn't know if I had it too loosey-goosey. Let's make it room here. There we go. Oh my goodness, friends. Okay, I gotta get a paper towel because it steamed up my glasses. I can't see. All right. Look at this. Now, listen, if the glaze is too sweet for you, don't put as much brown sugar in. You could do just some brown sugar on top of that ham loaf. You could do just pineapple. You could do ketchup. Whatever, it's your ham loaf. Whatever you want to do. Just some suggestions. Look at that beauty. Oh my goodness, I haven't had ham loaf forever, and I'm excited. I don't think Elena's never had ham loaf, and Dr. Steve can't remember if he's ever had ham loaf. So I'm excited for them to try it. You know I'm going to try it right now for you. It's super hot since it just came out of the oven. Friends, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Toot, toot. I'm serious. You have got to make this, and I'm not joking. Friends, amazing. I'm so excited for the kids to try it. I gotta go. I'm gonna fix me a little tiny plate. I'm not gonna overdo it. I know my stomach and the way it is. I'm gonna take it easy. But I've got this and the slow cooker scallop potatoes and some fresh green beans from my canned stash. I'm excited. I've missed you, and I'm thankful that you were here and you stopped by. But listen, you've got to make Krista's Country Ham Loaf. Bye, friends. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by.